It's the Ross Tucker Football Podcast.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. I would never do that to you. That's disrespectful. You never mail it in. You never just make it just some old Ross Tucker. No. I bring it every day for you guys because you give me 30 minutes at least of your day every day. So I'm going to bring it for you. It is a Finish Strong Friday. It is a Picks Friday. It is still a Find the Lights Friday because it's still high school football season in America, or at least in Pennsylvania. And it is a Picks Friday. What else is it? Oh, it's a Winners Friday.
I want winners. I want people that want to win.
Honestly, I know a lot of you guys don't do it. I get it. I listen to other shows and they have contests and I don't do it because I'm like, I'll never win. I get it. The thing is like you absolutely can win because there aren't that many people that enter every week. So just giving you a little heads up. Spread the word, winner. How about James Joyner? James, I saw your Facebook comment on the Micah Parsons clip from Greg Cosell that we posted on Facebook. That interaction was all it took, buddy. That's all it took. Now you get a signed picture, a signed football card, a signed press pass, whatever you want from your boy. And I think you might be a Cowboys fan. So maybe that Thanksgiving Day press pass is something that would be of interest to you. Sponsor confirmation email winner. It's the last one. It is the last Madden that gosh, we're in December and I still had a free Madden to give away. 2 more to send out. A bunch of you have told me that you received yours. Some of the other winners, I love it. The winner, Josh Gamez. Love it, Josh. Josh got a story at myfrontpagestory.com. You will not be disappointed, Josh. And I don't mean the Madden. You are going to love this. I actually got 1 or 2 others recently that just said how much they love the experience, how happy they are with their gift, with the story they got for a loved one. So very cool, Josh. I'll be sending you that Madden probably over the weekend or next week. And then the YouTube shout out winner, which is just subscribe on YouTube. Just hit the thumbs up. You're not paying anything. And then make any kind of comment so I know you were there. That's Ray Swackhammer. Number 1, Ray, your last name. That's amazing. Swackhammer? I would love to know the lineation of that. Is that a word? No, lineage. There's delineation and there's lineage. You know what I need to do? I need to delineate between lineage and delineation. I kind of combined the two there. Boom. Thankfully, it's solo camera on me. Brian's not there to make fun of me, which is nice. So anyway, Ray Swackhammer, not only do I love the last name, but Ray reminded me that J.C. Jackson was undrafted, not drafted for the Patriots. I think I knew that. I don't know why I said late round pick or something on the other show, but you weren't the only one, by the way, Ray. Let me know what you want. Oh, no, I know what you get, Ray. You get a cameo video. Yeah, you get a cameo style video via YouTube. Just let me know who you want it for, Ray. Email me, ross@rosstucker.com. It's Big Show time.
The Big Show.
I would never make fun of you. Jeez. Okay. Thursday night football, Cowboys over the Saints 27-17, 4 interceptions for Taysom Hill.
So Taysom Hill started, obviously. So Taysom Hill started, obviously. You know, I like that guy. I think they probably overpaid him. I think they probably used him in situations where I don't think they needed to. But I like that dude. You know, he got beat up last night. He had a splint on his middle finger on his throwing hand. I don't know if Aikman said this or not, but that's the last finger, I think. That and your index finger. The last finger is to touch the ball when you release it. It's really impressive, man. Really impressive. Second half, he was running. First half, he was just kind of solid. Second half, third quarter, he's running like a madman, running people over, hurdling DeMonte Kazee. And then fourth quarter, it was pick city. But all in all, I do think he gave them a spark. They did actually score some points. They didn't have Kamara again, or either offensive tackle or again, or Marcus Davenport. I think they'll get a lot of those guys back now that they've got 10 days before their next game. So the Saints are still not out of this thing. I thought it was interesting that Micah Parsons, with the Marcus Lawrence being back, Micah Parsons, who was on the show, I guess over the summer, played off the ball. He was an off-the-ball linebacker, didn't rush on a lot of third downs. He was more or less spying Taysom Hill, which probably was a decent move for Dan Quinn to win the game. Doesn't necessarily help Micah Parsons' statistics, although he's such a freak. He did it himself. 5 quarterback pressures, 6 tackles. He had a great play. He had a sack. He had a great play in coverage on Kenny Stills. I don't know if we realize what we're seeing. I really don't. I mean, I'm going to ask this on Twitter today, at Ross Tucker NFL. He's the best rookie linebacker since who? He's the best rookie defensive player since ? And then I'm going to have to ask if we've ever seen anybody else like him. Off the ball backer, in coverage, run and hit guy, that kind of player off the edge. I mean, it's incredible. The thing that's noticeable is that when Taysom Hill thought about running, or when Taysom Hill ran a bootleg, Micah Parsons, and Greg and I obviously talked about him a lot yesterday, but he gets on them faster than they think he's going to. There's a clock in quarterbacks' heads when they know, okay, this guy's 12 yards away or 8 yards away. I have this much time. Micah Parsons broke the clock. It's very clear that he is on these quarterbacks before they're expecting him to be. They're not used to it. Saints missed a long field goal early. Man, it helped the Cowboys to get Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and back in the lineup. I mean, their first touchdown drive, Amari Cooper goes for 41. CeeDee Lamb goes for 30-something. And then Michael Gallup made a beautiful touchdown catch. I mean, it looked like the Matrix. It was amazing. I give Taysom Hill a lot of credit. I said that already. Run, play action passes, led to the Saints touchdown, 7-7. Boys got a couple of field goals later on in the first half. Saints got one of their own. A couple of things that jump out to me. They had one of the worst and most upsetting penalties in years. They called a fullback coming across the formation in blitz pickup as a blindside block. It is an absolute disgrace. The officials don't know football if they call that. And the NFL needs to issue a statement making sure everyone knows that that was the wrong call. It's that important that people understand that that was that bad of a call. It was a good game, really, until Tony Pollard took a pitch to the left, a toss crack, 58 yards to the house. He has serious jets, way more juice than Zeke Elliott. They really should just let Zeke, I don't know what his deal is, but they shouldn't even have played him in the game last night. He could have had almost 2 weeks to let whatever he's dealing with heal. It was a Taysom Hill interception fest the last 6 minutes, including Carlos Watkins on a pick six. But I still kind of appreciate what Taysom Hill did last night, just like I appreciate being able to see clearly from my car while I'm driving. Visibility. It's your first line of defense when it comes to staying safer on the road. Seeing better means spotting the unexpected even faster. If you're looking for better visibility, head over to AutoZone. They've got the parts and products you need to drive safer and see more behind the wheel. If you got dull headlights, boom, they've got the replacement lights to help you brighten up the road. If your wipers are squeaking or streaking, that's crazy annoying. especially if there's bad weather and it's like your wipers are streaking the bad dirt across your awful, absolutely awful. If you're ready to be able to see better and drive safer, visit your nearest AutoZone or head to AutoZone.com to start your job today. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Want to know which team is going to win every single game on Sunday? Then listen up.
Let's start with the New York Giants at the Miami Dolphins.
Did we forget the one Tux take, Bri, or was it not on what I sent you?
You know what? I forgot it. Sorry.
No worries.
Tux take, go.
You're not gonna team me
just
up on
did
it? You didn't say like the thing.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, I don't have that sheet up in front of me.
Antonio Brown, Mike Edwards, and some other dude all suspended 3 games by the NFL for fake vaccination cards. Don't even know what to say. Incredibly disappointing, pathetic, cowardly. It's not about the vaccination status in this instance. It's about accountability to your teammates, to your organization. It's about being a liar. I got a lot more respect for Kirk Cousins and Carson Wentz, guys that said, hey, I'm not vaccinated. I'm not going to be. I would love to hear their logic and reasoning. You know, you hear a lot of people say they did their own research. I would like to just have them say it. Maybe it can be helpful. Maybe even if their logic is flawed, them saying what their logic is and some scientists and doctors refuting it would still be helpful to people. But to do what Aaron Rodgers did is disappointing. To do what these guys did is pathetic.
All right, now let's get to the Giants and Dolphins.
I like the Dolphins playing very well. I don't know what happened. Earlier in the week, they made it sound like Daniel Jones wouldn't play, and that'd be Mike Glennon with this neck strain. They got Jake Fromm. But now it sounds like Daniel Jones has practiced all week. So I don't know. It sounds like he'll play. I don't really care. Either way, I'm taking the Dolphins. I feel better about it if it's Mike Glennon. But either way, I'm taking the Dolphins. Tua's playing really well. The defense is playing really well. The Giants are offensively challenged. I don't know. 20-17, 20-16, Miami.
Indianapolis Colts, Houston Texans.
Well, of course I'm taking the Colts. I actually think the Colts are a decent, not great, but a decent survivor pick that you should consider. You don't like to do it on the road a lot, but they're going to run the ball. I mean, the Jets just ran the ball down the Texans' throat. I would expect the Colts, who are much better at running the football, to go ahead and run it down their throats. So that's what we'll do, Bri. It'll be 27-17, and we'll lock up the Colts.
Your survivor/knockout/whatever you call it, pick of the week.
Minnesota Vikings at the Detroit Lions.
The Minnesota Vikings. So I'd have more faith in the Lions' ability to actually pull off the upset and get a win if DeAndre Swift was playing, but he's not. And there's more of a drop-off between DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams and Iggy than there is between Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison. His name was Alexander Madison. So anyway, I like the Vikings to take care of business. You know, they'll probably mess around with the Lions. It'll probably be a close game. But ultimately, I still think that they get it done. 24-13. I just don't have a lot of faith in Detroit scoring points, especially without DeAndre Swift. 24-13, maybe 24-17, Minnesota.
Philadelphia Eagles at the New York Jets.
I like the Eagles quite a bit in this one. You know, the Jets have this weird tendency, it feels like, to play well and win a game, and then the next 2 or 3 games play really poorly. Now, maybe that they get Wilson back, Maybe they're building on it. Maybe they'll play well the rest of the season. Maybe they'll play well down the stretch. But I don't envision them running that ball as well against the Eagles. And I think the Eagles will run the ball well against the Jets. I think the Eagles will play better than they did. They're not going to lose the turnover battle 4-0 again, 4-0. Jalen Hurts isn't going to throw 3 picks in the red zone. Boston Scott's like, I like the Eagles for all those reasons. I'll go 27-16 Birds.
Arizona Cardinals, Chicago Bears.
You could consider this for a survivor pick. There's some better options. At this point, you got to think about who you haven't already used. You probably already used the Arizona Cardinals. You might not have used the Colts, which is why I referenced the Colts. The Eagles aren't a terrible survivor pick. If you have other better teams available, I think you could do that. But they're not a terrible survivor pick. I like Arizona. Sounds like Andy Dalton to be the quarterback, but the Cardinals should be getting their guys back. Now, maybe there's some rust for Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. Maybe this is a game where they don't play as well, but I'm not going to pick the Bears to beat them. I think it'll be a good game, though. 23-20, Arizona.
LA Chargers at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, you heard Steve Fezzik on the Even Money podcast talk about this being a back-and-forth affair, high scoring. He likes the over in this one, which means should be a pretty entertaining game. If you're not familiar with betting at all, that just means that they set a total for how many points there will be in the game. And Steve likes it to go over that total. He thinks there's going to be a lot of points in the game. I don't necessarily disagree. Chargers defense is disappointing. I think their offense will bounce back from a subpar game against the Broncos. I'm going to go with the Bengals. They're playing very well right now. I think fun game, though. Let's go 34-31 Bengals.
Tampa Bay Bucks, Atlanta Falcons.
So I got the Bucks. I do think the Falcons will do a decent job at home, keeping it competitive. I actually think Arthur Smith should get some conversation, should be in some discussion for the coach of the year in the NFL. I know that sounds crazy. I don't think he's got very good players. I don't think he's dealing with a whole lot there. And yet they're still very good. And I think he deserves, well, very good is probably a stretch. They're still 5-6. They're still pretty good. And so I think he deserves a lot of credit for that. I think his name should be in the mix. I'll take Tampa closer than other people think. I'll take Tampa 27-20 over the Falcons.
Jacksonville Jaguars, Los Angeles Rams.
Now, the odds are, Bri, you've already used or somebody's – if you're still in a survivor pool, by the way, that's awesome. Kudos to you. And if you're still in a survivor pool, odds are you've already used the LA Rams. But if you haven't, they are by far, in my opinion, the best survivor pick this week. So you can go ahead and lock them up, Brian.
Your survivor / knockout / whatever you call it, pick of the week.
I might end up being wrong, but I think that the Rams will absolutely destroy the Jags. I think it's a get-right game for the Rams. I think they need it desperately. I think they're going to come out and just roll the Jaguars. I think this game, 31-13, maybe 37-17. I think the Rams win the game by quite a bit. And I think the real winners are those of you that overcome the odds, rewrite the playbook, deliver under pressure. The real winners are the MVPs of small business that lead their teams to victory all year long. Visa is proud to provide playmakers everywhere with more tools to help grow their business and help them achieve even greater success. Because the more people we can empower, the more we all win. Visa, a network working for everyone.
Next game, the Washington football team at the Las Vegas Raiders.
Is that where you're going to be, Bri?
No, I'm going to be in Los Angeles for the Jags and Rams with a stop first at the Big 12 championship in Dallas.
Oh, really?
Right after that, yeah.
Big 12 championship in Dallas is tomorrow at noon?
Yeah.
Wow. Who are you doing that game for?
That's for ESPN, and then I go right to the airport and fly out to LA.
It's kind of nice. It's like on the way for you.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah. Plus, there are flights every hour, so that hopefully should not be an issue.
Yeah. That's great, Bri. So you got a doubleheader this weekend, and I got a goose egg. This is the only weekend of the year from August 1st until the Super Bowl, I believe, that I don't have a game. I'm still doing Eagles pregame on Sunday. Tonight, I'm going to a high school game. Tomorrow night, I've got something fun planned, but I don't want to tell it because I don't want the groupies and the paparazzi and stuff. But tonight, I'm going to go see my high school play.
By the way. Yeah,
What's that?
I said I get that too. I totally understand that.
Yeah. So tonight, I'm going to see my high school play. I watch them every Friday night when I'm in a hotel room on my computer. But even though it's pretty far away, I can actually see them in person. And it's hard to explain the feeling I get when my high school, really any high school game, but especially when my high school team takes the field. And then when that national anthem's playing, 100% of the time, my eyes fill up. 100% of the time. It is, gosh, my eyes are filling up a little bit here just talking about it. I just, it's funny. I look at things differently now. I hope that my daughters find something in their life that they love as much and that gives them as much joy as football has given me throughout my life. That's how I look at things now. Like that's my perspective. At any rate, I'm going to go with the Raiders, Bri, but this is sneakily one of the best games of the weekend. These are two teams right in the playoff mix. Raiders played well against the Cowboys. Washington is playing very well right now. And it's one of those swing games where you'll feel much better about the team that wins than you do about the team that loses. Like Raiders win, you're like, okay, 2 in a row, they're back on track. If they lose, it's like, okay, the Cowboys Thanksgiving, that was an anomaly. Washington wins, it's like, wow, they're really on a roll. Washington loses, it's like, yeah, all right. They had a decent run for a little bit, but they're probably not really a contender. I'll go with the Raiders because it's at home. I was impressed with how they played against the Cowboys, but they're a little beat up. This is a snug game, as Paulie from the Dan Patrick Show would say. I'm going to say 24-23 Raiders.
Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Going to be a close game because it seems like the Ravens only play close games. They only play games where it's like a fourth quarter nail biter, but they win them. They win almost all of them. Steelers don't have TJ Watt right now. He's on the COVID list. That's a big L. That's a big loss. Both these teams are not playing particularly well. Both these teams need to get back on track. It's hard to have a lot of faith in the Steelers to win any of these games right now. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take the Ravens. Hard-fought game, good game, 23-20. Ravens beat the Steelers.
The game originally slated for Sunday night got flexed out. It's the Niners and Seahawks.
I think it's a good flex. I don't want to watch the Seahawks. I'd rather watch the Chiefs against the Broncos. I think it's a good flex. The Seahawks are in a bad way. I thought it was amazing. The Seahawks signed Adrian Peterson, and Ian Rappaport talked about in a tweet how they're in win now mode. And our buddy Andrew Brandt at Andrew Brandt just quote tweeted, they're 3-8. Like win now mode. They're 3-8. Well done, Andrew. I'm taking the Niners. No Debo gives me a little bit of pause. No Debo Samuel, but I'll believe the Seahawks get this thing turned around when I see it. Niners 24, Seahawks 17. Niners win it up front, both sides of the ball.
So Sunday night is now, as you mentioned, Denver at Kansas City.
I'll take the Chiefs. I do think the Broncos can hang. I do think it'll be a competitive game. Maybe I'm just hopeful for that it's a competitive game. But I'll take the Chiefs to win the game. They're playing at home. Their defense has been playing very well. This feels like 24-17 to me, something like that, 24-16, Chiefs.
And finally, Monday Night Football, the New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills. This best game of the weekend. Monday Night Football has the best game of the weekend. One of the biggest games of the year. When you look at the AFC playoff picture, when you look at the AFC East, this game has major implications to it. And I got to tell you, I like the Patriots right now. Now, I might be wrong. Maybe even hope I'm wrong. However, the Patriots have been on an absolute roll. They've been incredibly consistent for a long stretch here now. The Bills have not. The Bills have been on a roller coaster, up and down, up and down. So if I'm going to pick who I think is going to win, I'm going to pick the consistent team over the up and down team. I also have significant concerns that the pressure of the moment of the situation might get to the Bills a little bit. They know how important this is for them to try to maintain their one-year supremacy of the AFC East. I'm taking the Patriots, 23-20. Shout-outs are in order. And I'm going to give those shout-outs to Pizza Boy Brewing, Sporticulture, Vision Comics with an X, HumanHeadNYC.com, and SteakhouseSports.com. As a reminder, Fantasy Feast, Even Money, College Draft, Business of Sports, all already posted. I don't know how many of you have ever checked out any of the other shows, but why not? Check them out once, see if you like them. If you listen to this show, you like me. Otherwise, this show would be unbearable if you didn't like me. So I'm on those other shows as well, other than the Business of Sports. Check them out. I think we're done here.
Thanks for listening to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also subscribe to the Fantasy Feast, Even Money, Business of Sports, and College Draft. All available at Apple Podcasts, rosstucker.com, or wherever podcasts can be found.
A lot of times on the show, I mentioned DraftKings. Here's what you need to know. You got to be 21 or older, New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in Indiana, 1-800-9-WITH-IT. By the way, if what I was talking about included a deposit bonus, doesn't always, sometimes it does. Deposit bonus requires 25 times playthrough, and deposit bonuses are paid out in site credit.